This is it, the next BMW 3 Series, or rather the new i3, which is tantamount to the same thing. While it represents the electrified version of the 3, the shape, the chassis and the sheer feel and emotion of the thing is the same. It's the platform that the next M3 will be built on, and also one of the most important and prolific German cars in automotive history. Now I could blunder through all the details of the i3, or I could let the man who conceived the thing, Anders Warming, go into an obsessive level of detail instead.
I'm Anders Warming, and I'm responsible for advanced design and design works within BMW Group Design. So in many ways, we, in the future of design, have created this new BMW 3 Series. I would like to give you a couple of insights on the design of the new i3. The i3, as you see it right here, is a very important car for the BMW brand, but at the same time, it is also a very important car in relation to the heritage of the brand. So on the one hand side, we're looking at technology of the latest and the newest and the finest, and the other hand side, we're talking about a clear lineage from where a BMW 3 Series comes from. So when you see a BMW 3 Series, it's an icon for us. Also, you will notice that the silhouette of the car is typically recognizably a BMW i3. And the 3 Series has a couple of traits that I'd like to point out to you. If you look at the front, you will see a new interpretation of the BMW kidney grille. The BMW kidney grilles now are illuminated all the way across the front of the car, and it also has a very low to the ground look. That obviously gives an impression of sporty nature, of dynamism, and this is very much in line with what BMW really stands for. Also, you see the light signatures, they are all new. We have basically created an all new kidney shape illuminated by light, but also the vertical two lines here giving you the 4 eyes of a BMW front end in a very new and modern interpretation. The front end is also very much characterized by a very modern form language. If you notice, the form language is really about dynamism, the way the lines come up and go down. We talk about a very dynamic form language that shows how the car really is performing from the inside and from the out. Coming to the side, what you see here is really the BMW 3 Series typical proportion. It is what we refer to as a 2.5 box design. So you have a very clear pronounced front of the car, the bonnet shape, and as it comes up over the greenhouse, you actually notice how it actually almost rises slightly towards the rear, giving it sort of a forward-leaning stance. And that is also because we would like to really emphasize the space that a BMW 3 Series offers in the rear. The BMW i3 in this guise also has a couple of very important new traits from the exterior standpoint, particularly here, the very famous BMW Hofmeister corner, the Hofmeister kink. In this interpretation after the post here, it's got a light kick up towards the rear, and that is really to emphasize the wheels. If you notice, we have a slightly longer wheel base, and we have slightly more pronounced the wheels as it stands, and this slight kick up here even gives even more emphasis on the muscle on the shoulder of the BMW 3 Series i3. Coming towards the rear of the BMW i3, what you see here is a BMW typical stance. A lot of details make up this composition of a 3 Series. A couple of details I'd like to point out. One of which is the L-shaped taillights. These are very wide taillights, really emphasizing the width and the shoulder of the car, whilst also maintaining the iconography of a BMW L-shaped taillights. At the same time, you also see a couple of new features. For example, the valley around the emblem in the rear, similar to what we have on the front bonnet. It adds that element of dynamism and sporty nature of BMW 3 Series that you so much obviously associate with BMW 3 Series. I'd like to point out a couple of details that help us in design to create something, as in our view, so dynamic as you see here. It'll be referencing the topic of aerodynamics. You see these very sharp lines around the rear, they're actually sculpted in such a way that they really help the range of the car. So it's an optimized form language here, slightly tucking in, but with a clear separation point for the wind. And that also really improves the handling of the car, but also the efficiency of the car. So in many ways, we enjoy that in design, to create something that has a dynamic, beautiful look, but at the same time fulfills the need of an efficient and very modern and innovative car. Here you also get a glimpse of the shoulder I was referring to in a very pronounced manner. We have to remind ourselves this is a sedan, this is a BMW icon, but at the same time you have this extreme pronunciation of the rear haunches, the rear shoulders, and also the light as it hits here beautifully over the rear wheel, in this way emphasizing the rear wheel very, very strongly. In the interior design, we have some very innovative solutions for how to create this environment. It basically consists of BMW elements 4 I'd like to mention. Overall, we're talking about the BMW panoramic iDrive, and it consists of the panoramic vision, which is the bottom of the windscreen that shows you pillar to pillar screen and display. It's a new configuration, but it works beautifully together with the new design of the steering wheel with a central post. We have a 12 o'clock and a 6 o'clock post, and the seamless integration of the controls on the steering wheel. Another element that's part of this is, of course, the head-up display that is beautifully integrated into the instrument panel. You hardly see where the light comes up, but we have the very clear and a very precise reading in the front windscreen. All of that moves your eyes up. Also, what's very important is the design of the central display. It has a driver orientation to it. It actually has a lean to it. So this free-cut display actually leans in and allows you basically to use a larger area and gives you very, very good reach. Small detail I need to mention is also it's slightly angled towards the driver. So even the top corners here, you'll be able to reach very, very easily. And the comfort in the way you can use this, the intuitive nature of the interior layout is very, very helpful. You can imagine that this has been a very big undertaking for BMW to create an interior that is so revolutionary, so innovative. And it really means that every component has been redistributed in order to create a sense of space, a sense of value, the materials you touch, everything that gives you comforts. But very importantly, the use of the display and the configuration gives you a BMW driver orientation at its purest. So we speak about eyes on the road, hands on the steering wheel, and that is really part of the joy of driving a BMW. What we're talking about when designing a BMW, be it a combustion BMW or in this case an electric BMW, we ensure that it is made with the same form language, same proportions, and ultimately it's about creating the perfect BMW for your needs, rather than making differentiation between the drivetrain A or B. Well, the Neue Klasse cars, the BMW cars that we have created here is really the way forward. So it is the beginning of a whole new generation of cars. There are so many models over the next many years coming, specifically with the ingredients as you experience it here in the car. And it is in my words, probably it's a real revolution, because we're creating a car that is very intuitive in its operating methods, the way you see things, the way you can focus on driving the car and enjoy the driving of the car, that is really true to the DNA of the car and ensures that every car moving forward will have these components. For us as designers, designing with the 3 Series legacy actually inspires us. We're able to create something for the far-reaching future, but the more you know where you come from, the easier it is to predict where you're heading with such design. The fact that a BMW always has been about dynamism, the way the dynamic statement in driving a car, the reaction feel of a steering wheel, the pedal feel, the way the car basically is at your fingertips, that is actually an inspiration in form language, precision, even to the design of the wheels the design of the color and material specifications, and also the use of the user interface. Precision and dynamic control is an important part of every BMW. When we design a BMW for the future, it is very much, let's say, the company's view on what is needed, and we have the clear message from our clients, the customers that drive BMWs every day, that they expect the latest and the greatest and the newest technology. And that actually inspires us to, at some points, even to take a bolder step moving forward. It was a big step to design such new steering wheels, such new central display, and also the panoramic vision here at the bottom of the windscreen. But the reason why we could really take this bold step is because it underlines the real traits that make up a BMW, and it points towards the future. On the aerodynamics of the i3, it's very important to point out that a lot of hours have gone into creating what makes a very efficient shape. Now, how is that done? We have to really just talk really quickly about what air wants to do. Basically, air would like to go past the shape, and the more it gets an angle as it goes past, the more it creates a draft on the outside. So let's say if we really had a strong angle here, you would have a lot of turbulence on the side. So what we've done here are some surfaces that have a lot of beautiful crown to it. Actually looks nice as well, but it also makes the wind basically get guided around and lead the air up alongside the body. We have a couple of features that help that. One is the air curtain here. When you let in a little bit of air to the front wheel arch, it basically increases the pressure in the wheel arch, and that actually stabilizes the air on the outside of the wheel arch. If you weren't to do that, you would actually have wind that would want to pull into the wheel arch, and that basically would cause more turbulence. And the air curtains is a huge measure that actually helps stabilizing the wheel, the turbulence around the wheel. Another detail it's maybe a small one, but I like to point out, is that the outer part of the wheels here are closed shapes. Why is it so? Because when a wheel is turning and it's an open shape, it would create a lot of turbulence. But if it's closed, it actually stabilizes the air as well, and the turbulence is reduced while still allowing for the proper brake cooling to happen. And as you go alongside the body of the car, you will notice that even the shape of the rear view mirror has been shaped so that the air is being guided all the way to the rear. We say when we design a design like this, whatever you do right in the front end of the car helps you towards the rear end of the car. It really is about stabilizing the airflow from the front towards the rear. And it helps, ultimately, I would say, to create beautiful shapes. But what's really important, it also makes for a very efficient drag coefficient. The i3 is a sedan concept. And of course, a sedan concept is low to the road in its nature, in its proportion. It's very different to an iX3 that is actually a higher vehicle, which has more of a SUV proportion. It actually sits a little bit higher on the road, and that is also emphasized by a different front-end graphic. The i3, as you see it here, has a very horizontal look to it, and it echoes the past of BMW 3 Series that really is about efficiency, nose low to the ground, and makes for a very dynamic statement. In contrast, the iX3 has more of a vertical stance, and that's why we have the two vertical kidney grills in the middle, and it emphasizes basically a taller vehicle. Now, that's an important ingredient in the design of the Neue Klasse design, because that allows us a larger bandwidth in proportion in the front designs. So we have a bandwidth from a sedan proportion, as you see it here, and the iX3 being more of a SAV proportion, obviously making it more of an upright car, different kind of character. So it allows us a lot of bandwidth in creating new form language.